Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters. I'm back with another Twilight chat. This is episode 10 of the Twilight chat, and it's the 10th day of Ramadan. Alhamdulillah, almost the third of the month had gone, and we thank Allah, we praise Him, we thank Him for, allowing us to be alive so that we can fast this month and witness the month of Ramadan. Another year, another month. Alhamdulillah, amongst all the calamities that is hitting our planet, we're still alive, surviving, and praying and fasting. That is something to be grateful for and thank God for that. Alhamdulillah. رب اشرح لي صدري ويسر لي أمري واحلل عقدة من لساني. So today we're going to talk about dependency. Dependency upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and full dependency on everything. So this concept of dependency is something that needs to be asserted. We need to be firm on this one, because as we go through life, so many things happen, and these things can shake us at times, shake our belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Sometimes they can also make us think that, doubt the convictions that we have within us. And some people go even beyond. They doubt the conviction that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala exists. Some people leave the religion. Some people do not believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala as a result of things that happen to them. So these convictions shouldn't be shaken by mere calamities that hit us on this earth. So to demonstrate this, obviously, as you all know, this is a chat about a specific verse that we choose every day from the Quran, and we just kind of contemplate. It's contemplation, but interpreting verses as means of life, as tools that we can use throughout life, as a way, as guidance, as landmarks throughout our journey in life. So today's verse is going to be verse number 25 from Surah At-Tawbah. And this verse has actually a story behind it, and I will relate the story shortly after reciting the verse. The verse is addressing the companions of the Prophet ﷺ, and it was just a reminder for every one of us. And the verses of the Quran, or the stories that are not just verses for reminders, but rather they are eternal verses. And the reason for them being eternal is just because things and incidents that happen in life are repetitive. Things could happen today and could happen tomorrow, and the same thing, and the concept that history repeats itself. It could be, in a way, not history repeats itself, but the similar events happen throughout history, and we need to learn from events that happened before us, instead of us repeating the same thing, going through the same process and learning through other people's experiences, instead of just like going through it and learn through pain. So instead of learning through pain, we learn through other people's pain, which means other nations and other generations who came before us, who depart this life, but they had gone through things which can be lessons for us to learn. So these are like ready-made meal, just like for you to consume, instead of just going and prepare another meal and wasting time and food. So the verse is verse number 25 of Surah At-Tawbah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, وَلَقَدْ نَصَرَكُمُ اللَّهُ فِي مَوَاطِنَ كَثِيرَةٍ وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْنٍ إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ وَضَاقَتْ عَلَيْكُمُ الْأَرْضُ بِمَا رَحُبَتْ ثم وليتم مدبرين ثم أنزل الله سكينته على رسوله وعلى المؤمنين. So, what does this mean? So, basically, for those of you who don't know the Hunayn is actually a river between Mecca and Taif, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is telling a story that happened to the companions. So the companions, after Fath Makkah in Shawwal, Shawwal is the month that follows Ramadan. The Prophet ﷺ had left Mecca. He was going back to Medina. So, and he knew that some of the tribes of of the cities around Mecca were preparing to fight the Prophet ﷺ. So the Prophet decided not to wait for them till they come to Mecca, but rather go out. So the Prophet ﷺ had gone out and he prepared for this battle. But this battle came straight after the opening of Mecca. Mecca, as you know, is the place where the Prophet ﷺ belongs to. That's where his message was started. But he was kicked out of Mecca. But later on, he came to Mecca, and he was able to come to Mecca in the 8 years later. So he came to Mecca, and this incident is happening straight after that, opening of Mecca, after the Prophet ﷺ was able to get into Mecca without anyone stopping him from getting into, because of the power that he had. And also the people of Mecca had already, majority of them became Muslims as a result. What's important is just that the Prophet ﷺ was going, and the armor that the Muslim army had, and the organization, and the number 12,000 seems for a lot of people was very deceived a lot of people, I would say, they thought that we're gonna rely today, we are big, that kind of thinking, some sort of pride. And some of them, they said, like, لن نهزم اليوم من قلة, we will not be defeated today as a result, as because of numbers. We will not be defeated because of numbers, because they saw that 12,000 people is a big number, and we will not be defeated because of numbers. So this is arrogance. This is dependency upon their power. They are depending upon their power. So okay, because you have the number, you're going to be victorious in that battlefield. So what happened was, when the other tribes and the other cities that were around gathered 30,000 people. 30,000. So imagine 12,000 is more than double. It's 2.5 250%, 250 more, percent extra. So 2.5 is like more than double the number that the Muslims had. So the dependence upon their power was one of the causes that led to this. And then when the battle started, a lot of them start fleeing, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is reminding them. This verse is a reminder that your reliance shouldn't be upon you. Your reliance should rather be upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Complete reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this, when we go through life, when things get darker, when your relationship with people is affected, when you have a problem with families, when depression kicks in, these are the times when you need to have that strong, concrete iman and that reliance on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, knowing that this will pass, and knowing that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala won't just abandon you. And having a firm belief in these things helps a lot in overcoming things, problems, depression through life, having breakdowns, having breakup of relationships, things like that are very crucial in our lives, because especially when it comes to things like relationship, because you think that this is you are kind of attached, emotional attachment comes as a result, and so many things, and then you probably also planning your life around and designing your life around that person. So, and when breakup happens, what happens is you tend to be affected by time, and some people resort into different forms of mental and physical and psychological problems as well. So dependency of should be on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. There's a story that the Muslim historians relate. It's about Ibrahim alayhi salam. Ibrahim, when he was, when they prepared the fire for him, and they were about to throw him in the hellfire, in the fire, and the story is in Surah Al-Anbiya, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when they gathered the whole, the whole tribe, and they prepared the fire, and then they were preparing to throw Ibrahim, and when Ibrahim was, taken to be thrown, and he was on his way, they say that angel Gabriel came to him and he said, "Yeah, Ibrahim, do you want any help from me?" And Ibrahim replied by saying, he said, "I, from you, no, but from Allah, yes." So this story shows reliance. He's telling the angel who was probably a messenger. This angel was a messenger. He was the connection between Ibrahim and the Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But at this moment, Ibrahim knew this connection is not needed at that moment. What is needed is the direct connection, the direct, talk to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, rather than through Angel Gabriel, because Angel Gabriel is a creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And that's why you have the prayers. The prayers is the connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So reliance and dependency, our reliance and dependence should be on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, regardless of the circumstances, regardless of the things that we're going through. We should have a complete reliance. Our parents, our family, our friends, yes, we can depend upon them, but that has to have a limit. It shouldn't go beyond that limit. We should rely upon them if it's something that they can do, if it's something, but the absolute and reliance should be upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And anything that is not upon Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala obviously will have a limit, and going beyond that limit means you would end up not achieving what you should achieve from that reliance. So going back to the verse, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala is talking about to the companions. وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْنٍ إِذَا عَجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ. You see, when as people, as countries, as nations, we see our numbers. When we see our numbers, we are a big nation. We see a lot of nations saying that we are a big nation. We are so and so million people. We are a big nation. We are a great nation. And we see that this especially through empires. So they tend to see themselves as the greatest, and this greatness doesn't last because, for example, if we take the United Kingdom, the UK as a country, as an empire which was ruling throughout the world, the Greater Britannia. This is the notion that a lot of people still have. They think that this is the biggest nation. We know today the UK is not the greatest nation on earth. America, and a lot of Americans think, provoke the idea of, greatest nation. But greatness is not the military power or the military mighty that you might have. And dependency shouldn't be only upon these material things. There are other factors that we should depend upon, and as human beings also, our dependency shouldn't be upon only material things. So yeah, I just wanted to share this with you, a quick Twilight chat every morning that we're doing, inshallah. If you have any questions or if you have anything to add to the discussion, you can refer to it. Otherwise, I'll leave you to it. Have a good morning, and also if you're gonna sleep, have a good night. Although it's not night, have a good day. And I'll speak to you tomorrow with another Twilight chat, just like reflection upon life concepts every morning. to start our day and have more of a reflection upon the spiritual dimension of things as well. So I'll leave you up to it. Thank you very much. جزاكم الله خير. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.